Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today as part of our virtual NSO New Student Orientation. We are glad to have you join us today for an exciting conversation. My name is Denise Manjarrez, and I'm the Director of New Student Orientation. Just a couple of housekeeping items. Before we begin, please feel free to use the chat feature on the right-hand side of your screen to ask us any questions. You can also use the Q&A to ask us any questions that you're wondering. We'll feature questions at the end of the session, so feel free to make the session as interactive as possible. We'll be really monitoring your questions. Now I would like to introduce to you Dr. Lake, the Dean for School of Education.
Good morning. Welcome to the virtual orientation. We are so glad to have our prospective graduate or education students here with us today. I have 3 chairs. Third one will be joining us in a moment, and faculty, Dr. Faieta, and a student with us today. So we're here to answer any questions that you might have as you get ready to come to school in August. And reminder, we're starting a week earlier, August 17th. But I want to commend you for choosing education as a program. Edinboro has been educating teachers since 1857. We are the best in the region, and that's recently been recognized by our CAPE accreditation. Edinboro University is the only institution in the Commonwealth with both their initial and advanced programs CAPE accredited. So we're very proud of that. Edinboro educates the best teachers. Everyone knows that. So I'm going to let my colleagues speak to this. I'll start with Dr. Wesley. She's Chair of Middle, Secondary, and Educational Leadership.
Good morning. Thank you. To talk a little bit about the middle and secondary education program, all middle and secondary majors are assigned an advisor who specializes in your specific content area concentration throughout the duration of your program. So the advisor that you are assigned incoming as a freshman will be the person that you work with throughout your program, seeing you through to graduation. You will also attend or participate in this year a virtual Common Hour session with one of our faculty who will, on a weekly basis in 1-hour sessions, provide you with all of the important details and overviews about our programs in terms of the certification or clearances that you might need, the candidacy process, certification testing, all of those sorts of things. So all of that's covered in weekly sessions with our Common Hour coordinator to keep you on track and prepared for the years ahead of you in your program. You have the option outside of class to join our middle level and secondary education club, which provides a lot of resources and supports to the schools in our community through tutoring, after school activities, evening events. We also have the opportunity for our majors to add on additional minors or endorsements to their program, which are small sections of classes that can be used to enhance your certification. So for example, students who are not being dual certified in middle level or secondary education and special education sometimes opt to add on a minor in special education rather than a full certification. We also have a minor in trauma-informed teaching practices that will be starting this coming year, which we're super excited about, that actually includes an embedded endorsement in social emotional wellness in schools. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 deal there, a minor and an endorsement in just a set of 4 extra courses, and 2 of which are already embedded into your program. We have endorsements in online instruction to help prepare you to teach online in the future, minor or an endorsement in STEM education, and an endorsement for the ESL specialist certification program. In terms of funding or paying for your certification program, I would encourage the middle and secondary education majors to look for the Teach Grant. And you can find this on the Edinboro website by just searching Teach Grants in the search box, and it'll direct you to the financial aid page that provides information about that grant specific to teachers in certification fields in middle and secondary education. We also have a program, a grant program that we received from the National Science Foundation for NOICE scholars. And these are students who are majoring in secondary STEM fields. So for us, that would be secondary math, chemistry, biology, or physics. These programs, or this grant, will pay for the last 2 years of your certification program, providing that you agree to participate in some supplemental activities that we have, mentoring programs, different opportunities that we'll have to work in the community, in schools throughout your program, with an agreement then that you spend 2 years for each year of funding that you receive to work in a high needs school. And I want to clarify that a little bit, because you can find a lot of information about the NOICE grant on the Edinboro website. But a lot of questions I have about this is, what does it mean to work in a high needs school? So a high needs school, by definition of this grant, is any school that has a high need for that subject area teacher. So a lot of schools in the region have a hard time finding a physics teacher or a math teacher. That can make it high need. A lot of schools that have a certain percentage of free and reduced lunches, or Title I funding. And the interesting thing about the open-endedness of the eligibility for high need is that it allows the majority of schools in our region and throughout Pennsylvania to qualify as a high needs school. So it's not necessarily remote rural schools. It's not necessarily inner city schools. Like I said, it's basically any school in our region qualifies for high need, as high need based on the definitions of being able to fill those vacant positions. So if you have any questions about the TEACH grants or applying for the NOICE grant scholarship, please feel free to email me at any time. My email is wwesley, so WWESLEY at edinboro.edu, and I can provide you some more information about both of those funding opportunities. And also answer any questions you might have about our endorsements or minors, clubs, or programming in general. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Dr. Wesley. Dr. Melvin will be joining us in just a moment. Some little technical issue, but I wanted to add on to your comment about the NOICE and the national teacher shortage. So many of our students, despite the fact of everything that was going on in the spring with COVID, we had students who were getting job offers before they ever graduated in May. So really a great profession and a great time to be in it. So let me introduce now Dr. Roberts, Chair of HPE.
Hello. Good morning. So the HPE department is a little bit different than some of the others in that we have 4 different degrees, and one of those is teacher certification. We're proud of all those, and included with the rest of the School of Ed, our teacher cert program is very good, and we often get requests for our students, you know, when they've been student teaching, because there's a lot of jobs happening now in K through 12, and our students that like to coach as well as teach, you know, so it's a great opportunity. So within our department, of those 4 tracks, the teacher cert is the one that will put you in the schools through a K through 12 setting, certified to teach health education and physical education. And we are one of the few states, Pennsylvania, that has a dual certification for K through 12 health ed and phys ed. Exercise science is our biggest program in the health and phys ed department, and that program prepares students to go to a variety of different areas depending on your own interests. You know, students go to strength and conditioning, cardiac rehabilitation. Probably the largest proportion are interested in physical therapy school or occupational therapy school. We also have people that go on to get a master's in athletic training. And occasionally we even have somebody go to med school or some other different routes from the exercise science degree as well. So that's our biggest track. We also have a degree in sport and recreation administration or management, and which is different in that that's more of a business based with the sport and rec content areas. So our students that graduate from there end up in positions like with the Erie Seawolves, Pittsburgh Pirates, professional sports teams. And our internships also have them getting some valuable experience within those areas too. Excuse me. And we have a health and wellness studies program, which is the newest of ours, and that prepares students to go to usually like nonprofits, or more importantly today, like the Erie County Health Department, with all that's going on with COVID-19. Our health and wellness studies program prepares people to work in those types of fields. Within our department, we've, in the last few years, developed some study abroad opportunities, and I've traveled with students to Scotland and England. We have a study abroad coming up for Greece to look at the ancient Olympics and all the rich history that's there related to our field. That was tentatively scheduled for 2021, but with the slowdown of travel and our inabilities to know for certain, that'll be pushed back to a year. So for those that are coming into our department, that might even be better for you, because then you'd have a year under your belt before you would travel to see like the ancient Olympic Greece Stadium and Acropolis and many of those things. We have several clubs in our department as well as Dr. Wesley's department, one related to exercise science, where we go to conferences related to those types of things. And we have a used to be a trip to the Boston Marathon to help learn and volunteer there. You may or may not be aware that the Boston Marathon was postponed this year to September, and then due to COVID-19, it has been since canceled. So large events, that might change our experiences with that. We also have a sport and recreation club and a HPE majors club, where they've been actively involved in the community with doing blood drives and many other items that are helpful to give you some different experiences. Probably one of the most important things within our non-teacher cert programs, because all teacher cert students do a semester of student teaching, would be our internship program, which gives students 600 hours of experience in a career field of their choice related to where your degree, you want your degree to take you. So many of our students go to physical therapy places, some go to OT places, some go to hospital settings, some go to, the Olympic Training Center, maybe a professional hockey team, or even a lower level professional sports team in our area. And that time gives you great experience with hands-on activities related to your degree. And many of our students then are also, if there's a job available, oftentimes offered a position within the same place that they've done their experience. For those looking to go on to the rehab sciences degree area for graduate school, like a DPT program, most of them require hours of experience with a PT setting. So the internship gives you that experience and then sets you up for, a letter of recommendation and better qualified to get into PT schools that you may be interested in. And that's pretty much the summary of our 4 degree programs in the HP department.
Thank you, Dr. Roberts. And I agree, I can't encourage the students enough to consider study abroad with your department. I had the opportunity to join them when we went to Edinboro and London, and we went to Twickenham, which is the rugby stadium, and we went to Wimbledon, and we got to play cricket. So it was fantastic opportunity. So they do a great job with that. We have Dr. Melvin with us now. She had some technical issues. She is the chair of early childhood and reading. And she runs a couple programs in our building that make us really unique compared to a lot of other education programs. We actually have 2 pre-K classrooms in Butterfield Hall and one of the best literacy centers in the region. So I'm going to let her speak to those initiatives.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lake, and thank you all for being understanding. Technical problems are the worst for sure, but it's always exciting and fun to be able to share and showcase a little bit about our university with all of you. So as Dr. Lake said, my name is Dr. Melvin, and I am chair of early childhood and reading, and I've been at Edinboro for quite some time, and I'm a 2-time alum, and I come with 17 years classroom experience. And the reason I'm sharing that is I truly think that is one of the strengths of our faculty, and not only my department, but in the departments across the School of Ed, our faculty really bring a wealth of experience into their classrooms that they share with you, so that you will be more prepared when you go out and begin your teaching career. So I truly think that that is one of our strengths. Our professors, again, a major strength. They have a lot of experience. They bring to the classroom research. They'll be your advisor. They'll be a role model. They will work with you on research. So that definitely is a strength, but they also provide that strength when we talk about our programs. And our department offers 3 4-year programs. The first one is a straight early childhood program. It is 120 credits, and it would certify you to teach preschool through grade 4. Most of the time, I encourage our students, if you are going to do straight early childhood, to add on a minor, because that makes you more marketable. And some of our newest minors are deaf studies and dyslexia. Those seem to be ones that are very popular, and that administrators in the local areas are asking, you know, if our students have this background. But you can also do minors in special education, instructional technology, foreign language, any area that you have an interest. And again, this makes you more marketable, especially if you are just going to do the straight early childhood major. We have 2 other dual majors, which are probably the first one being our most marketable major, and that's early childhood and special ed. Early childhood, you would be certified preschool through grade 4, and special ed, preschool through grade 8. And again, that is our most marketable one, and I'm sure Dr. Faieta will talk a little bit about that. One of our newest ones is our early childhood and deaf education. And this is 138 hours, and it allows you to be certified in preschool through grade 4 for early childhood, and preschool through grade 12 for deaf education. And there is really a need in multiple areas for teachers of deaf education. So that seems to be a very, very popular area. As I said, we also have the minors, so you should consider a minor. Even if you do a dual program, your professors will always try to help you to be more marketable when you're out there competing for a job. We also have a K-12 STEM endorsement, which is very popular. It involves you taking just one additional course, and you can add on this endorsement upon graduation. So, you know, I feel those programs are high quality and will definitely prepare you for being classroom teachers. Now, within those programs, I'm not going to talk a lot about the coursework, but I just want to focus on one strength that I think kind of flavors all of our programs, and that is in our coursework, we have embedded field experiences from your very first course in education that you take up until student teaching. So we kind of build those experiences. We start with an afternoon on site, maybe doing a read aloud, and that builds to you actually doing 1-day lessons, then 2-day lessons, then you're out in the schools for maybe a week, then it goes to 3 or 4 weeks, and then by the time you do your student teaching, you have had a variety of situations, whether they be rural, suburban, inner city, grade level wise, you have multiple grade levels. So you are really very highly prepared for your student teaching experience. As my colleagues, Dr. Wesley and Dr. Roberts said, we all have our clubs. We have the Early Childhood Club, we have Student PSEA, we have Kappa Delta Pi. I'm sure Dr. Faieta will talk to you about the Council for Exceptional Children. These are all phenomenal opportunities for you to network with your colleagues. Your faculty provide leadership in these clubs for you. So there's wonderful networking that occurs there.
Dr. Melvin?
Yes.
We have a question. How should a student go about adding the minor now?
The minor, they should either see their advisor or they should come to see me as the chair and we can fill the paperwork out. And the earlier the better, because there may be some opportunities for us to take some of the required courses maybe in our distribution areas in the gen eds.
Thank you.
Okay. Just a few other resources that Dr. Lake had addressed. We do provide tutoring in the department. We have tutors to help you when it's time for you to take your core exams and any testing that you need. We have an urban seminar where we take students for 2 weeks in May into Philadelphia, and you get a 2-week experience in the schools working with students. A phenomenal life-changing experience for sure. We also have multiple study abroad programs. We've gone to Italy, the Dominican Republic. We do road trips. We've gone to Salem, and we have multiple outreach opportunities ongoing throughout the year so that you can start building that service and volunteerism on your resume, because those administrators are looking for people that go beyond the classroom, that they are going to be giving back to the community. As Dr. Lake earlier said, we do have a preschool where we have 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, and it is in Butterfield. And we also work closely with the WPSD, which is the Western Pennsylvania School of the Deaf, and they have some little ones. We work together with them and we provide voluntary activities for our students. And it's wonderful because you can go in there, if you're minoring in deaf education, you can go in there and actually do observations and so on. So it's a very, very positive learning environment, not only for our little ones, but also for our college students. So I guess I just want to conclude by saying we have strong faculty, we have strong programs, we have a lot of outreach. We only need one other thing, and that's you. So we look forward to working with you soon.
Thank you, Dr. Melvin. Now I want to introduce Dr. Faieta. She is outstanding special ed faculty, and she has a student with us today.
Hey, good morning. Thank you all for coming and listening to our experts in the field. I am in special education. I'll be starting my 31st year. And when I came to Edinboro 31 years ago, I fell in love with it and moved and stayed. We are currently a special ed add-on program, meaning that if you're getting early childhood certification, you can add on special ed, and it would give you certification to actually teach special ed in the field. And as Dr. Wesley said, we also have a collaborative relationship with our secondary ed program. That seems to be growing. A number of people want to have both degrees. They want to be content experts as well as they want to learn how to deal with students in the classroom. We currently are a faculty of 5, and when you say special education, it's very broad. If you're interested in the field, it could be learning disabilities, behavior management, intellectual disabilities, and our faculty reflect that. So we have 5 people, and for example, we have one faculty member who's an expert in behavior management. We have another one that's an expert in intellectual disabilities. So you actually are involved in the classroom with teachers that are, with people that have been experts and have worked in the field. Currently, our state certification certifies students in physical disabilities, learning disabilities, intellectual disabilities in conjunction with the early childhood and secondary. And this current program we have certifies you in special ed K through 8. Now, a couple things that we are working on is the state has notified us that they want to do a straight special ed major, which kind of adds on some of the lower incidence of disabilities such as autism, traumatic brain injury. So we're working on converting that. It could be a standalone special education, or I would say it would probably be a dual type of program like we currently have. The difference between that is that we would be certifying people in special ed K to 12. So that means that we are currently working on curriculum to support that. And for example, we did not have a class technically that specialized in secondary education. And now we just recently put through that class, and we'll be including that in the K-12. When we add on the straight special education majors, that will certify people in, again, the same exceptionalities that I mentioned earlier, but it will also better prepare them to work in agencies, shelter workshops, or in some type of role as a behavior specialist. We're fortunate today that I recruited a student to come in and tell you about her perspective. And she's worked very hard in preparing this presentation. If you need to get a hold of me, I'm JFAIETA at Edinboro. And I would be glad to talk with you about any of our programs. We do have a minor. We do a lot with the dyslexia minor that comes out of the reading program. And at the graduate level, we have 2 tracks. One is if you're coming back to Edinboro and you want to be add-on special ed certification. And then the other track is if you want to specialize in an area such as behavior management and autism. So hopefully you have a great summer. We're preparing all of you to come to campus. And if I can assist in any way, please don't hesitate to ask. Savannah?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Savannah Fischer, and I'm a junior at Edinboro. I'm an early childhood and special education major. I have a minor in deaf studies, and I'm a member of the CEC, the Council for Exceptional Children, the ECC Early Childhood Club, and Student PSEA, Pennsylvania State Education Association. I'm also a member of the track and field team. I throw shot put and hammer. Just a little bit about the education department. I feel it is the best department that we have offered at Edinboro. The professors are wonderful. They're very knowledgeable. They care about us, like academically, personally, and in my case, sports related. I know I've missed a lot of classes for traveling and stuff, but the professors are really, really good at working with us. When we do miss anything, like, they're wonderful with that stuff. The education department does a spectacular job of getting us student teachers out into the schools early in our college careers. I started volunteering personally my 2nd semester of my freshman year, and I feel like we're provided with many great volunteering opportunities to get us out there earlier. One of my favorite volunteer opportunities from the CEC was volunteering at ESO dances. ESO dances are sponsored by the Barber National Institute for adults ages 18 and up with autism or an intellectual disability and college-age peers. They can be held at Edinboro, Penn State, Barron, Gannon, and Mercyhurst during the school year, and I love every minute of these dances. The atmosphere is uncomparable. Everyone's smiling, dancing, and having so much fun. Another volunteer opportunity that I wanted to touch on was volunteering at McKean Elementary for their response to intervention tutoring program. My peers and I would go in the morning before school started, and we would tutor children selected to be in the program. I was placed with 2 students in kindergarten, and their homeroom teacher gave me some ideas on what to work with them, and I was able to pick the activities that I wanted to do with them for the day. And it was a really interesting opportunity, and I loved every second of it because it was me doing the work with the students, and it was like my firsthand experience on working with students individually. And lastly, I just wanted to say I'm very excited for this upcoming school year and the challenges that COVID-19 is going to bring with it. If you see me on campus, feel free to say hi. And if you ever need help with anything, please reach out to me. My email is sf181290@scots.edinboro.edu. Thank you.
Thanks, Savannah. We appreciate that. Can you repeat your email one more time?
Yep, it's sf181290@scots.edinboro.edu.
Thank you. Thank you. So one of the things I want to touch on, and what can you be doing now between now and August 17th? I say to all students in orientation, get a folder and write clearances on it and start adding your clearances in there as you collect them. We get you out early and often in the class or into the school. So we need you to have a packet with your clearances so you're ready to go. We have 200-300 education students. My office can't keep track of everyone's clearances for them. So that's your responsibility. The other thing, I want to prepare you a little bit with what fall is going to look like. We would like things to be as normal as possible, but we also have to be flexible in case COVID should pick up again. We'll have to go online again. But on August 17th, I expect you'll be coming into your classrooms and your face-to-face classes. Some may convert to online, but we want freshmen to have as much face-to-face experience as possible. So you might say for Dr. Melvin's class, she has a class that she'll have half the class in the room on Monday with her, and the rest will be joining her online or D2L. And then on Wednesday, that population will switch, and she'll have a different group in the classroom on Wednesday face-to-face. So we're going to be as flexible as we can. We just ask you to be patient. We'll have some rooms might have numbers on them. Like the desks might have all 1s, and so the first section will sit in the 1 chairs, and then the second section will sit in the 2 chairs, and vice versa. And we'll have housekeepers cleaning, and we'll do everything we can to make it a authentic, great experience for you in the fall. But I want to turn to my panelists right now and just ask them to give one word of advice, something they can do to get ready for August 17th. So Dr. Wesley. You're muted.
My apologies. Thank you. To think about ways that you can build your resume on your own outside of your classes and outside of the volunteer opportunities that we will be providing for you. If you like to teach ski lessons, or you're a lifeguard at the pool, or you're creating online story times or tutoring sessions, things that are unique to you and your interests that help administrators who are potentially going to be hiring you in the future see that you have a passion for working with students and that the community is open to you working with the kids in the community. Thank
you. Dr. Roberts.
Dr. Wesley's were very good recommendations, and I would agree to that. One of the things I think is helpful is having a plan on how you're going to organize things, because college is so different than high school, and you have so many different classes with nobody forcing you to be responsible to those. So having your own system that works for you, whether it's Post-it notes, a to-do list, Google Tasks, or whatever it is, having a plan in place of how you approach those that might make you most efficient so you can work through your classes the best might be the piece of advice I'd offer.
Thank you. Dr. Melvin, do you have any advice?
I do, and I forgot to say one thing before. I went right over it, and I think it's very important. I just wanted to highlight that we have a phenomenal literacy center with children's books and puppets and games and anything that you can imagine to help support what you are going to be doing when you go out in those classrooms. So please make it a point to visit third floor because those resources are there to help you. My suggestion would be much the same as Dr. Wesley and Dr. Roberts said, but I'd add to that, you know, coming here with a positive attitude and knowing that you are going to hit roadblocks. There are going to be times when things just don't go the way you want them to go. But I want you to know that you are not alone. You know, as I said earlier, we are here to support you. We want you to succeed, and we will work as a team to make things work for you. As Savannah said, you know, the professors are here for you, your advisors are here for you. We will work to make your dreams come through. So please let us know if there is an issue.
Thank you. What's your email, Dr. Melvin?
mmelvin@edinboro.edu.
Thank you. Dr. Faieta and Savannah, do you have any advice?
Thank you, Dr. Wesley Roberts and Dr. Melvin. I always encourage my students to make the connection with the faculty, as Dr. Melvin had indicated. I advise them to go find your advisor during the first week of classes, introduce yourself, and make sure you build that relationship, because your advisor can be the person who can guide you along the way to solve any problems you may have, both in the classroom or out of the classroom. Savannah?
Yeah, I agree too. Another thing that I wish I would have done earlier was get my clearances as soon as possible, because I know I waited until the last minute and it was crazy running around trying to get them all together. But do them now while you're at home, and you can get everything in your hometown and just take it with you up to school. And then, as Dr. Faieta said, I love to make personal connections with my professors. It's nice for them to be informed on like big things going on in your life, and it's nice because they know you care and they care about us. So that personal connection is really important too. And be happy, be excited. It's going to be your first semester of college, and they like to see you enthusiastic about learning.
Very good advice. Thanks, everyone. I should explain, when you come to a university, sort of the chain of command, so to speak, is you should always work with your advisor first, then you go to your department chairs, and then you can come to your dean's office. I'm in the office Monday through Friday now through summer, and my email is lakee, L-A-K-E-E, @edinboro.edu. I'm happy to resolve any issues, but they said it best. Faculty are real people and they want you to be successful. So we're here to help you make the outreach. We'll be there for you. Anything else? Any questions? All right, well, have a great summer, everyone. We'll see you August 17th.